How could I have known that this moment would change everything? It was just another ordinary afternoon, the kind of quiet day where nothing ever seems out of place. Michael was at work, and the house carried that familiar hush it always did when it was only me and Ethan. I moved from room to room, folding laundry without much thought when something cut through the silence. At first, I thought it was music, a faint sound, maybe a video playing somewhere upstairs, but as I climbed the staircase with the basket in my arms, I realized it wasn't music at all. It was something else. Something that made me pause mid-step, my hand tightening around the wooden banister. The hallway stretched ahead, dimly lit by the soft afternoon light pressing through the blinds. Ethan's bedroom door wasn't fully closed. It was slightly ajar, almost like an unspoken invitation or a warning. I don't know why, but instead of turning back, I stepped closer. My chest tightened, breath catching, as the sound grew sharper and more distinct. I told myself I was overthinking. He was 24 now, an adult with his own life and privacy. Maybe he was on a call, watching a movie, doing something completely harmless. Yet something inside me, a mix of curiosity and unease, pulled me nearer. I leaned forward just enough to peek. And in that instant, everything froze. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed, his laptop open, the glow from the screen casting harsh shadows across his face. His hands moved quickly, nervously, and in that single moment, the truth became unmistakable. The realization hit me like a cold wave, leaving me breathless. I should have turned away immediately, closed my eyes, and gone back down the stairs. But I didn't. For a single unbearable moment, I just stood there, frozen in place. There I stood, frozen, caught in a version of reality I hadn't expected. A part of me was alert, almost thrilled by the tension, but another part was tense, on edge. My stomach knotted, my mind spinning. 1,000 possibilities collided in an instant: fear, shock, confusion, but none of them made sense, yet suddenly, Ethan shifted, as if he sensed a presence. His eyes darted toward the door, and in a heartbeat, our gazes locked. My blood ran cold. His face went pale, and a flash of alarm crossed his features. He scrambled to shut the laptop, fumbling, the device nearly tipping from his hands. "Clara?" he said, voice tight and anxious. I thought the door was closed." I couldn't speak. My throat felt parched, my heartbeat loud enough to echo in the quiet house. I didn't mean to, I started, but the words faltered. Silence wrapped the room around us like a heavy curtain. Ethan muttered something under his breath, barely audible, tension crackling in every syllable. I stepped back, my foot catching the edge of a floorboard as I steadied myself. Turning, I pressed my hands to the railing, feeling the grain of the wood under my fingers, and descended the stairs. Every step felt heavier than the last, my pulse thundering in my ears at the bottom. I leaned against the counter, burying my face in my hands. My breaths came fast and uneven. What had I just witnessed? And why did it feel as though nothing in this house could ever return to normal? I tried to focus on ordinary chores, folding laundry, wiping counters, arranging things neatly, but my mind remained trapped upstairs, replaying the seconds over and over like a loop I couldn't break. The house was still quiet, but it no longer felt safe. The air seemed heavier, charged, as if waiting for something else to happen. Something I could neither predict nor control. The air felt heavier now, almost charged. Every small noise seemed sharper than it should have been. The creak of the steps, the steady buzz of the refrigerator, even a faint dog barking outside all sounded unnaturally loud. When Ethan appeared at the top of the staircase, I went still. He paused there, holding the banister like he needed it to stay steady, his gaze locked on the floor. He didn't look like the calm, composed young man he usually was. He looked shaken, burdened by something neither of us could ignore. "Clara," he said quietly, so soft it barely reached me. I forced myself to lift my head, though my chest tightened. "Ethan," I answered. My voice uneasy, he shifted awkwardly, then started down the stairs one slow step at a time. His collar sat unevenly. His hair was messy, like he pushed his hands through it countless times in the last few minutes. When he finally reached the bottom, he still couldn't look directly at me. "I'm sorry," he burst out suddenly. "I didn't expect you to see anything." He shook his head. "I thought the door was shut." I wasn't paying attention. I pressed my lips together, trying to form something coherent. "Nothing had prepared me for this kind of moment. You don't need to justify anything. I said at last, breaking the heavy silence. My voice came out steadier than I felt. You're an adult, Ethan. I shouldn't have stepped in without knocking. That made him finally lift his eyes. A mixture of relief and embarrassment flickering there, but it felt wrong, he murmured, shaking his head again. Like I crossed a boundary with you and I didn't mean to. You didn't, I cut in quickly, the words sharper than I intended. I didn't know what else to say. My mind was spinning in too many directions at once. Silence filled the space again, even thicker than before. I sensed his eyes lingering on me, but I didn't look up. Instead, I focused on the counter, on the neatly folded laundry that suddenly felt like the only solid thing in the room. I'll give you some space, he said softly, his voice tight with emotion. I don't want to make this harder. Without waiting for a response, he turned and walked back upstairs. I stayed where I was, watching him go. His eyes had carried so much intensity, so much unspoken feeling, it left me unsettled. I pressed myself against the counter, legs trembling beneath me. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like the one in control. I felt like someone standing at the edge of a cliff, uncertain if the ground would hold.